I have these friends, Dan and Sheila. They're podcast hosts.
Welcome to Profiling Criminal Minds. I'm Dan,
And I'm Dr. Edmund.
and we are back for the year of Dexter, episode 7 through 9 of season 1. And I'm going to start this with a question I think we're going to be asking a lot for the rest of the year of Dexter. Is it okay that we like Brian this much?
Oh, well, that's slightly different than yeah, it has to be okay, except that his last kill I am not happy about.
We're not happy. I'm not happy about it either.
I understand why Brian thought he had to do it.
He probably didn't.
He probably didn't. He
No.
could have just
Dexter wasn't coming back here. Dexter wasn't going to be coming back to that place. But obviously, I don't like all of his choices, but I'm still on his side.
Oh, I don't know if we're talking about the same thing.
Him killing the old lady?
No.
Him killing Dexter's dad?
Yeah.
No, I'm fine with that. Him killing his own dad? 100% I'm fine with him
See,
doing that.
I'm not sure that was Brian's dad.
It was Brian's dad. There's no reason to suspect it wasn't Brian's dad as well.
Then why did he just leave the house to Dexter?
I don't know. Maybe he didn't honestly.
And why didn't he go?
It's entirely possible that, he was always awful to Brian.
No, my take on that was that he was Brian's stepfather
Maybe.
and that they have two different fathers.
That's entirely possible. It's
Yep.
possible Brian's father's still out there. We had totally forgotten about the Dexter's dad stuff.
And yeah, no. And the reason I would say that is that
Well, you say stepfather,
Harry
it's
had
not like they were married.
access. Yeah, but but it would explain a lot more if he was I'm just saying essentially the stepfather, okay? Therefore,
Okay.
both the children have the mother's name.
Yes,
Okay,
that
but
is clear.
when Harry had to go and get the blood transfusion stuff, he didn't go to Brian because I already knew that Brian had a different father.
That is entirely possible.
Okay, like I think that the idea that he left it to Dexter and not Dexter and Brian
Well,
is
no, you
because
say go to Brian. Brian at that point is 11 years old. You legally can't donate blood at 11 years old.
well, look, in the
They're
world
not,
of
and by the
this,
way, given the situation, I'm not sure Harry, given what we know about Harry, is in a position to go to a mental hospital and say, can we have, a bunch of blood from this 11-year-old who I have
yeah,
consigned to grow up in a mental
perdition, yeah,
institution?
to perdition.
Yeah, exactly. Who I have cursed to this nightmare existence. Also, we need a liter of his blood.
Yeah.
No, I don't think
No,
Harry's in a
I
position to be
agree
doing
with
that.
you. I agree with you. But I also think that mine makes more sense
No, they could be. But here's the thing. I'm going to educate
because
people
they
about
look
blood types.
radically, no, but they
And
look
they do look very
radically,
different. Yeah.
they look radically different. Like,
Yeah. And they could have different fathers. We don't
yes,
know,
we'll
but
never know.
they could. No, I don't think that's ever going to be confirmed one way or the other.
Yeah. So,
Uh,
so, and it would therefore, you see, because I would think that if this man was willing, well, of course he did it because never mind, we're spoiling the last
Yeah,
episode.
we'll get there, but I just want to point out
Yeah.
that there's no way this guy was quite a dirtbag,
Oh,
right?
that's clear. That's not even a,
And it's entirely possible. Yes, he started going to NA and turning
yeah,
his life around at some point,
yeah,
right? But who could he clearly, honestly, he might have done it after he saved his son's life. You know? That might have been but he was a dirtbag up until that point, and he made no effort to reach out to his son, even after he had been clean for all these decades. So no, I have no sympathy for maybe Brian's dad as well, but definitely Dexter's dad. But we have no idea. But now I'm going to just give people a quick education in how blood types work.
Oh,
Dexter has the rarest blood type, AB negative. And how blood types work is O means you have no proteins on your red blood cells. You can also be Rh positive, Rh negative. Now, here's the important part. There are A proteins and B proteins. People with A proteins have A blood type, B proteins, B blood type, both proteins, AB blood type. Now, here's the important part. If you don't have a protein on your blood, you cannot have blood that has that protein without causing a transfusion reaction that can very frequently be fatal. All right. So if I do have O blood, right? Which means I can only have O blood, because if I got blood with any proteins on it, I would be in real trouble. But here's the interesting part. If you have those proteins on your blood, you can have any blood that doesn't have proteins on it.
yeah.
So if you have B blood, you can have B blood or O blood. If you have A blood, you can have A blood or O blood. And this is the key part. If you have AB blood, you can have any blood without any problem. The only question is, are you Rh positive or Rh negative? Now, Dexter is Rh negative. Now, 80% of people are positive, 20% of people are negative. So Dexter can only take negative blood. That is a problem, but because he is AB, he can take blood from 20% of the people on Earth. You would not need to phone his father to get blood. But what happens is writers, they go to Google and they say, what's the rarest blood type? And they just write down that he has the rarest blood type to create this. The correct thing to do, if you're a writer trying to write a scene like this, is to give him O negative blood. Because remember, and this is the important part, if you're positive, you can only take positive blood. You can take positive and negative blood, but if you're negative, you can only take negative blood. So O negative blood is the most valuable blood on Earth, because anybody can take that blood no matter what. Hospitals try to always keep O negative in stock, because if there's an injury and they don't have time, like a massive injury emergency, and they don't have time to find out somebody's blood type, they know it is always safe to give them O negative blood. And so if you made Dexter O negative, hospitals are always short on O negative for that reason. That would actually be a very good reason to have to call his dad. It's not the rarest blood type, but it's the hardest blood to get. So that's just writers out there. That's your trick. O negative is what you want to give your characters if you want it to be hard for them to get a transfusion. There you go.
Boom.
Boom.
Okay, now that we've settled that.
Okay, I just think it's important to put
you
that
have
out
to
there.
do this every time this comes up. You
because
do this.
Writers still get it wrong.
Wrong.
To
I
this
know.
day. Like, this isn't a hard thing to find out. I found it out the first time I donated blood. They give you a little pamphlet, and all of this information is in there.
Yes, but how many
Not
people?
a secret.
No, I know.
And you're right. If you're not giving blood, shame on you. Go give blood next time you have an opportunity to.
Yes.
And you don't have to wait for like a clinic. There are blood to show up at your work. There is a place you can go in your town, wherever you live, that will let you donate blood today.
There's no place in
That's
Sault
true.
Ste. Marie to go and give blood.
Okay, not in Sault Ste. Marie. But if you live in a real city, there is a place.
I'm going. We used to have
one
blood drives that came in once every 3 months.
There you go.
Right? So that you could go once every 3 months and give blood.
Okay.
And I used to give blood. There's nowhere to go anymore because, of course, with all of the cut blacks in the medical system and the public health system, now they don't give. There's nowhere to give blood in Sault Ste. Marie unless.
It's kind of messed up that Sault Ste. Marie just has trucks full of blood driving up every week.
Oh yeah, no. Well, we also don't analyze when we get blood work done. It doesn't get analyzed in Sault Ste. Marie. It gets analyzed.
In Sault Ste. Marie. Wow.
It gets driven to Sudbury.
Oh, wow. That's a rough one. And again, I know Sault Ste. Marie very much isn't a real city, but that's rough.
Yeah. And what happens, I mean, at the hospital, if you go in and there is some emergency, they will do it. And I'm assuming that if they had a desperate need for some blood type at the
Yeah.
hospital, that they might be willing to take blood
Okay.
from people, right?
Yeah, like a one, like
And they could
a,
do it.
we need it right
Yeah.
now.
We
Yeah.
need it right
Well, yeah,
now.
obviously they have the capability. They are a
Yes,
hospital.
they're a hospital.
Like
And
they,
they do have
for all the
labs.
stuff, for all of the stuff that Sault Ste. Marie is missing, they do have hospitals.
Well, one
One
big, it's
hospital
called
now.
the
Yeah.
Sioux Area Hospital. So
Jesus.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
And
for
there's a
all the
little
people
one.
who live out in the bush as well.
Yeah, well, the thing is that down, yeah, because down the line they have these small local type of
Of
hospitals.
course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And but they sometimes shut down because they don't have any doctors. So the emergency
Oof.
shuts down and they have to then ambulance everybody to Sault Ste. Marie.
That's so
It
horrifying.
all depends on what's closer, Sault Ste. Marie or Sudbury.
Damn.
If you're on this Highway
Yeah, no, if you're in
74,
that area, I get it.
and if you're between Sault Ste. Marie, like Wawa has a bigger hospital, but they serve to the west of them. But that highway, I mean, no, and then you have to medevac people. It's not. You don't understand just how much in the boondocks we sometimes are.
No, I do understand that.
Yeah,
I
you've
completely
been
understand
here.
how in the I've been there plenty of times.
Yeah.
I know how in the boondocks you are. But anyone who has access to Google Maps can load up a satellite, type in Sault Ste. Marie, and be shocked that people that like 40,000 people actually live out there.
75.
Sorry,
Well, it's actually
70,000
about
people.
75. We got a whole
Okay.
bunch of new people
I'm
in.
thinking of when I was a kid. But there
Yeah.
you go. All
Yeah.
right. So yeah, Dexter. Episode 7. This is the one where Sam Witwer shows up as the fake ice truck killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Sam Witwer, of course, we know him best from his time on God, what would you say you know him best for? I'm like, is it Smallville? You know? He was on Smallville a long time. He was on the American version of Being Human. He's the voice of Darth Maul in cartoons.
Yeah. For
He's
me, it's Smallville.
Yeah. Like he's always a fun actor to see. He was recently on Supergirl as, the racist Captain America. They had a character who was the racist Captain America, and it was him. It was a delightful story arc they did about again, intolerance and the way powerful figures will co-opt the idea of vigilantism to, essentially promote injustice.
Yes.
Honestly, if you haven't watched Supergirl, people, it's a good show. Like
Well, I will. I don't know.
You got plenty to
Although
watch.
I will tell you though, Superman, the latest Superman, which I have now watched,
Oh,
it,
magnificent, isn't it?
it's yes, it is magnificent, and it's drive by at Supergirl.
That was so beautiful at the end.
Yeah, that drive by at Supergirl.
It was
Well, no
very funny
wonder
at
the
the end.
dog is misbehaved.
I know.
Yeah,
This is
now
why
you
he
know
has
why.
behavioral issues. Oh, Gary. All right.
Yeah,
But yeah, so Sam Witwer shows up, which is nice. And we're on Dexter's side of things. He has to deal with that kid he let go having murdered somebody.
yeah,
So he let a kid go, but then the kid went and murdered somebody. And the interesting thing is, Dexter sabotages his own plan to murder somebody by saying that by assuming that everyone but him is incompetent. Because he says to Vince, right?
yeah.
And Dokes that there seems like there's something familiar about the way this
The
guy was
cuts and things.
stabbed.
Yeah,
Yeah. And he doesn't know what it is, and of course he figures it out soon enough. But he just says that in passing, assuming that it's all going to be up to him, and then he looks it up and he figures out, oh my God, it's this kid I just let go.
yeah.
But like Vince is perfectly good at his job. So Vince just looks through the records and finds him with no trouble whatsoever. So Dexter tries to go and kill this kid, and he gets interrupted by the cops doing their job. And so we have to, and well, in episode 8, we get into the long and short of how Dexter has failed people, right? And he does. Like he has
Yeah.
failed somebody. Absolutely.
And he says that sort of threat or what he didn't do enough
No,
to
he didn't
change
do
this
anything. He
guy.
just
No,
threatened
hey,
him.
yeah, and
Yeah,
just
like Harry went through years of training Dexter and trying to get him to adjust how he saw the world and gave him good targets and all of this, right?
yeah,
And Dexter just threatened this guy and left.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that was going to
Well, it
work
wasn't
great,
even
Dexter.
a threat. He said he suggested that. Yeah, I mean, it was
It was a
that.
threat. He had
Well,
a
there was
knife
a
to his
threat,
back.
and then there was the little
Well,
aside,
yes,
and
on
that
his
was
way out.
all.
You're right.
Yeah,
On his way out, he did. It was more of a side on his way out. You're absolutely right.
yeah,
But the point is, he threatened him basically to not kill anybody, and it's like, and then gave him no tools whatsoever
yeah,
in order to cope with. Okay, great. I mean, you shouldn't kill innocent people. Fantastic. I'm still a homeless brutalized, abused sex worker.
yes.
What,
And are you telling me that the people who are buying sex from me are innocent
Yeah,
in his head?
exactly. Now, to be fair, the kid he killed was a kid smaller than him, but
Yeah,
still, right? He's so full of rage at these guys who are buying sex from him that it's going to take out somewhere. And
yeah,
he's not a big guy. It's not going to be on one of these men who's assaulting him. So he finds someone that he can pick on, and it all rolls downhill. Like
yeah.
that's just how it is. And Dexter knew that this was this kid's emotional state, and he did nothing to intervene.
Yes, and that's the interesting thing because he does get these flashbacks to when he was being bullied
Yeah,
as a kid, and
absolutely.
that should have, but he didn't learn anything from it at the time. He is now Johnny come lately to learning, oh,
What
I
that
can't
might have
just
meant. Yeah,
what that might have meant. Like, I mean, this is an interesting 3 episodes dealing with
very
Harry.
interesting.
Very,
Yep.
very interesting episodes in the dealing with the Harry situation.
Hmm.
Um, that yes, he did wrong by Dexter. I mean,
Absolutely.
it, even if you accepted okay, so he's sort of misshapen or miss whatever in his ideas of turning Dexter into a proper serial killer who
Yeah.
only kills bad guys.
An ethical free range serial killer.
Serial killer, right?
Yeah.
That is what Harry is doing. Harry neglected an awful lot
Oh, yeah.
of the personal stuff because he insisted and constantly insisted that Dexter was born bad
Yeah.
and didn't have any feelings because Dexter is now, even though he's not calling it empathy,
No,
right?
he
Is
obviously has it.
he obviously has it. He's not faking it, but he wants to know, but he still feels the emptiness. So when he goes and talks to the kid, and the kid just says, I feel empty. And Dexter's going, does it help? No,
Yeah.
no, it never goes,
No,
no,
it
the
never goes
murders
away.
don't go away. Ed Kemper is our
Yeah. The
clear.
only self-aware serial killer.
Yeah, who just said, no, it
Yeah.
doesn't solve anything for
Yeah.
me. I still am angry. And
Yeah.
that's that. And so, I mean,
The
and it
damage that
just,
gets done to these people happens young, and if
yeah,
they don't learn coping mechanisms, they turn into monsters. And uniquely in the body of Ed Kemper, we have one guy who was smart enough to understand what that meant,
yeah, yeah,
and take steps to stop himself. And it's like, I did all of these killings to get up the nerve to kill the person I was really angry at, and then I killed the person I was really angry at, and it didn't help anything.
yeah. It didn't make any difference to how I felt.
Yeah, that's the Ed Kemper
Yes,
story.
because the rewrite it takes a long time. This is what I often say about, so much of the brain damage is done early on,
Yeah.
and you can't like the writing of the brain. You have to rewrite the brain
Yeah,
paths.
rerouting how how electricity moves through your brain.
And
You have to move it through different paths, and
I
that's
mean,
an
it
incredibly
is.
hard thing to do.
Well, the thing is that's what partly in part cognitive
Cognitive
behavioral
behavioral therapy is. Yeah.
therapy is based on.
Mhm.
But the point is that when you are dealing with multiple traumatic incidents,
Yep.
when you are talking about it practically becomes hardwired, and then you can't do it in 6 sections of cognitive therapy.
Of course.
You can't change anything in 6 sessions of cognitive therapy.
Yeah.
Unless you don't like coffee and you want to like coffee. I don't know. Maybe that would work. You know, I mean, these things.
Maybe you want to stop biting your nails. We can probably get that done in 6 sessions, I would imagine.
Maybe,
we can get you to stop
but
biting your nails.
it all depends on why you're biting your nails.
Well, yeah, that's the whole issue.
Yeah, see, this is the point. You have these behaviors,
Yeah.
and these are surface solutions
Mhm.
that mean it's just like my smoking. I know why I smoke. I don't want to suck my thumb, right? I mean, I
replaced one
rewired.
thing, yeah, and you rewired your brain. Exactly right.
No. I mean, there was a period of time where I did stop sucking my thumb in between, but then I twisted my hair all the time.
Yeah.
Like I have
you were
these.
going to have this this thing you're not entirely in control of, so you try to redirect it to something that's more socially acceptable and that doesn't feel like it's troubling you as much. And in the case of cigarettes, they're actually a very effective drug for keeping people calm. Like, I'm not pro cigarettes, but nicotine is very good at keeping people both calm and alert.
Well, you know, and it was socially acceptable in the 60s and
100%.
all the rest of it. My mother may not have liked that I was smoking, but
everybody smoked.
But everybody smoked.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, and what I find is that, no, I quit when I was pregnant.
Yeah.
I quit, and I've tried to quit periodically, and I can cut and my normal functioning is about 10 to 12 cigarettes a day. Right? 7 to 10 cigarettes a day or something. However, under stressful situations.
Yeah.
And now I'm in the
coping
process.
Mechanism stuff.
Well, because all I could do was smoke. So I was back up. Like there were times where I would smoke 3 packs of cigarettes a day.
Jesus.
Under extreme stress. And then back off. Right?
Yeah.
And once problems are solved, I mean, you used to be able to smoke in your therapist's office, in the cinema, the whole thing. I smoked in Neville's office, and then he had to stop it, and I had to, grit my teeth.
That really is amazing.
Yeah.
People imagine. Well, I was on planes as a child where people smoked in the plane I was in,
Yeah.
Every plane arm had an ashtray in it.
Mm-hmm.
And
it
every
was
car had 4 ashtrays.
Oh, sure. In the back seats and in the front.
You had one in the front in the console for the driver. You had one in the right side passenger door, and then the back side, and then the back. Each of the passenger doors, the back doors had an ashtray. 4 ashtrays per car. That's just how it was.
Yeah, you get an old car.
De rigueur this was. So it was it was a completely socially acceptable way for you to deal with this stress.
Yeah. Right? And what happens is it goes down. And now I'm in the process of because over the last 4 or 5 months, I all of a sudden, my cigarette smoking just went off the charts again.
No one
not
would
3
expect
packs.
It not to.
Yeah.
Not 3 packs a day, but still.
Or anything. It was not. That's like it was. It's different now.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm older, but yeah.
But the thing is, these are like I'm not saying like
we're talking about rewiring.
We're talking about rewiring brains, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying smoking is a good coping mechanism. I'm not saying it's a great coping mechanism. It's better than killing people.
It's better than killing people.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that like Dexter made no effort.
Well, no, because it was
to assist this kid.
Mm-mm.
He's just like, you figure it out. And
this is Spencer.
Yeah. Spencer? Oh, yes.
No.
It's just like Spencer Reed.
Yeah. It's just like Spencer Reed in that little
Spencer
kid.
Reed and Anton Yelchin. Yeah.
Yep.
He's like, I don't know, man. I guess you're gonna feel awful forever. And the exact same thing happens.
Oh, by the way, bringing up Criminal Minds, we're just going to ramble for just a sec here,
Okay,
guys.
please. Criminal
But
Minds.
Aubrey Plaza's husband died.
I did hear about
Yes,
that.
he
Oof.
committed suicide.
I did not
47.
know that. Oh my
47.
God.
He committed suicide. She's talking about it now.
Okay.
And yeah. So I'm going bipolar,
Oh
probably,
no. Oh,
probably. I mean, the 40s is the worst. If men are bipolar, the 40s is
this
the
is where they
worst.
all go out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does seem that way.
Yeah. It's
Oh.
statistically they know
Well,
it
like you say, it
because
cuts 20 years off of their expected lifespan. That's
yep.
the late 40s.
Yep.
Oof. All right.
Yep.
But yeah,
Okay.
like no, but you're right. It's exactly like Spencer Reed and Anton Yelchin.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you were damaged. I mean, we never found out what turned Anton Yelchin into a monster. But the thing is, it's like you've
His
got these
mother.
monster. Well, obviously it has something to do with his mother, but we never
God,
found
what
out is
a
the point. No,
yeah.
she was terrible, but
She
we
was
never
a
found out the details of it,
no.
right? But he's like, well, you're always gonna feel like a monster, so good luck with that.
Yeah.
That was
No, but that's basically,
and I
that's
mean it's
basically
because
what
Spencer
Dexter
Reed.
did.
No, it's
Yeah.
basically it's exactly what Dexter did.
Yeah.
He and and the only difference is that it's like we can say that the reason Spencer Reed did it is because he didn't have the guts to kill himself when he's dealing with all of this rage.
Yeah.
He has to put it outwards, whereas Dexter just, is completely, I don't know, I think you can say to some level he hates the amount of himself that he sees in this kid.
Yeah.
Like he hates that he sees himself in this kid.
Oh yeah, when you saw that, I mean, that was well acted in
Yeah,
the
when he goes to
room
the interview room to
when he
quote
goes to the
unquote,
interview
yeah,
room,
get
right?
where he pretends to get look for blood under his fingernails
Yeah.
because he wants to find out. I know it's a really good performance by both of them in that
Yeah,
scene.
it is. I mean, it was well, and what I would say the difference is that Spencer found out what was driving him
Yeah, exactly.
and his past, and it was not a pleasant. His mother was a murderer, for God's sake.
Yep.
Well, you know how we
Murderer
always
by proxy, we know.
murder by proxy, and his mother was schizophrenic, and his mother
Mm-hmm.
was, just a horrendous person, and
Oh
his
yeah.
father abandoned him to his mother.
Yep.
And consequently, right? So, but Spencer discovered that and by the time he was 35, he had, whereas Dexter, it's only in this, and he's now what, 35, and now he's having flashbacks in these 3 episodes, which
Yep.
is what Brian keeps pushing, right? This is what
Oh yeah.
Brian wants him to do, is to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this is
So,
the important part we get because he abandons this kid and then the kid kills himself. Because again, it's the exact same thing that happened on Criminal Minds. Like he
mhm.
tells this hopeless kid, this kid is like, is everything hopeless? And Dexter's like, yep. And that's exactly, I mean, and Dexter doesn't know enough about human nature that he immediately figured out that he knew he was talking this guy into killing himself. But the but I really feel like Spencer Reed did. I mean, maybe not consciously, but on some level, I think Spencer Reed knew what he was doing. And it is, again, to that episode's credit. When I got towards the end of episode 8, do you know what it says in my note?
What?
I think this is the best episode of Dexter yet. Because
Yeah.
in the same episode that we're dealing with Tony Goldwyn as a therapist who is
Yeah.
talking women into killing themselves, Dexter, as a therapist, talks a kid into killing himself.
Yeah. Theoretically, he's not the therapist, and I don't think Dexter knew what he was doing at that
No,
point.
no, not like Tony Goldwyn does. Tony Goldwyn is obviously has a problem with these women and is trying to get them to destroy themselves.
Yes. Yeah.
That I mean, we don't know what the origin of his problem with women is. His mother, obviously, but we don't know in what way. We don't know the details. But yeah, like Tony Goldwyn, but it's just weird to see it paralleled so clearly because Dexter does the exact same thing that this week's villain does.
Yeah. And I think that, but with Dexter's lack of self-awareness,
Yeah.
and he has no empathy, like he basically has no empathy with the kid. He's not trying to find any empathy within himself
No.
so he can relate to the kid. No, he can't relate to the kid because he's not emotional, and because Harry has done the perfect job of gaslighting, as we would say, gaslighting Dexter.
Yep.
And Harry was good at what he did, and
Oh,
heaven
very much
knows
so.
Dexter could have been much worse if Harry had lived.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not sure that Harry's death was the worst thing that ever happened to Dexter,
No, probably not.
because yeah, Harry was, oh God. I Never mind.
Yeah.
We'll get to we'll be going through all of that as we go through Dexter.
Oh, yeah. And as we start getting Ghost Harry.
Yeah, and what's really interesting to me is, though, I'm watching these episodes and going, God, I must have been really out of it when all of this was on, because I know I watched Dexter.
But it's like we didn't realize how deep some of the stuff was going.
Well, we didn't know what was happening,
Yeah.
exactly, and that has made it a more interesting show. And we talk about it, but there were just these few things you couldn't figure out what it was doing
Yeah.
in many ways. And it was hard. It's, the sex and violence and all of that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't talk about lots of it. We didn't talk about it all the time, just every time
Yeah.
something
Just
got,
it came up, and yeah, something crazy happened on Dexter, we would talk about it.
yeah, so it was not what we started doing with Criminal Minds,
No,
because
not at all.
Criminal Minds is much more, it's got more people. It's got it's a different thing. The
Oh,
thing you're
completely.
feeling, you're watching Deb these 3 episodes, and all you can do is feel so sorry for her.
Oh, poor Deb.
What's going to happen in the next 3 episodes?
I know.
I
Oh.
think that they handle, because you just have to talk about them, because they're ongoing storylines.
Mm-hmm.
You have the murders. You have the two. They've got fake ice truck man, right?
Yep.
And Dexter
And
says no, it can't be,
yeah, it
because
can't be.
and
Yeah.
Dexter goes and sees him, and he doesn't recognize Dexter.
Yeah,
So
the
Dexter
last moment of
says,
the
yeah,
episode,
yeah,
the guy has no idea who
who
Dexter is.
Dexter
He's
is, and
like,
Dexter's,
okay, well,
yeah,
there you
fake.
go.
And then LaGuerta
Has to spend two
believes,
episodes. Yeah,
but she
believes Dexter.
believes Dexter, and she lets the chief of police, who has taken all the credit for this, hang
Mm-hmm.
himself.
Yep, I really enjoyed
You're
that.
watching this, right? And just going, aha, she is politically astute, and she's
Mm-hmm.
not going to take any credit for this
Yeah,
because
because she specifically, well, the weird
she
part is,
warns him.
well, no. She only starts, here's the thing. She is smart and she is political, but don't never forget, she only starts listening to Dexter when all of the credit for the arrest has been stolen from her by the
Yeah.
captain.
Yep.
When she's not going to get anything out of this, that's when she starts saying, well, maybe Dexter's right and this isn't him.
Well, yes, I know, but it doesn't matter.
No.
Because this is now, because Dexter has, to some extent, been right. And
Oh,
she's
yeah.
beginning to understand that whatever Dexter understands about the blood work and the
Yes, is
cutting and
definitely
everything
should
else,
be paid attention to.
paid attention
All I'm
to.
saying is
Yeah.
we don't know what she would have done if she had been the one given the press conference about
Yeah.
catching
Oh,
the ice
no, I
truck killer.
suspect
She
she
would
would
be
have.
less, it is entirely possible she would have been less excited about listening to Dexter had she been given all of the credit by the
Oh,
media
I
for
think
catching the ice
so.
truck
But
killer.
she put this off.
Oh, yeah,
She learned the lessons of the
she did.
previous,
Absolutely.
and clearly the chief of police and even the DA,
Yep.
because she said, I'm just going to leave it to you guys.
Yep,
You can make the decision.
I will support you in any way you need because she knows they're going to wind up with egg all over their faces.
Yes.
It's great.
And it's good for her. So politically, it's good for her this
Oh
time.
yeah.
And
bringing in
she,
the severed head.
oh God.
We need your heads up. Your advice on how the killer might have severed this head. Jeez. Oh my God. Oh
Because
wow.
but that is because she has gotten the cutting thing.
Yeah.
And they figure that the mother has only been cut up after she was dead.
Yeah. They
The
figured
autopsy
she
has shown that, and that she probably died of a heart attack.
yeah, given her health conditions, they're like, we can't say much, but there's only her limbs were removed to
Yeah.
make it easier to bury her, and there's no sign that she was murdered.
Yeah.
Like
And
there's
so
no injury to the head, there's no injury to the torso. She probably died of a heart attack, is their guess.
yeah. So, and that's when Laguard, and
LaGuerta, yeah.
she
Yeah.
tells them
Oh, she
she's
gives them
up
all
for,
the evidence. Absolutely.
yeah. And they just,
They
no,
won't
no,
listen to her. No.
no.
They want their
So
credit. Well,
she's,
you know how cops are. Like
yeah,
they just want it to be over.
I,
They want it
yeah,
to be a black thing on the board instead of a red thing on the board, and
yeah.
whatever it takes to get there, they're happy to do.
Well,
You
we
know?
have this horrible, although these some cops are starting to learn that they better not. They first of all, they have to take some things more seriously, like they did in Sault Ste. Marie, and have
Yep.
beefed up a whole bunch of stuff on domestic assault. But then
Hmm.
these two children who've disappeared in Nova Scotia,
Oh, right.
they still don't know. They still
Well, with
will
any luck, by
not.
the time people are listening to this, because remember, this isn't going up for 6 months. So hopefully by the time people are listening to this, we'll know what happened there.
Maybe, maybe not. It
Hence the word
is.
hopefully.
I suspect they suspect somebody, but there's no proof,
No.
and therefore they're
But we're
not.
not going to go again. We're
Yeah.
not going to go down
No.
the rabbit hole of a Canadian crime case from 6 months ago. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of the stuff with this, all of the stuff with the copycat is great. All
Yeah.
of the stuff with the kid that Dexter abandoned is great. But the best stuff, not related to Brian, obviously, in
Yeah.
this episode is all the Tony Goldwyn stuff. Because we keep joking about how, like, why, it's like how he could have just gone to therapy. And the second he goes to therapy, he gets so much better so fast. Like, 'cause the irony is, Tony Goldwyn is actually a very good therapist.
Yeah. Just like
Yeah, just a Hannibal Lecter situation. He's a
yeah.
very good therapist. He's just also a murderer.
Yeah.
And when you watch the episode, you're like, it really didn't take him long to crack what was going on with Dexter and to get Dexter to start, behaving like a human. Because Dexter, he's Rita's finally ready to have sex, and he's terrified that if he has sex with her, right, she'll realize he has no emotions and all that and reject him afterwards because that's
Yeah.
happened in the past. But the problem is, Dexter is clearly in love with this woman.
And not only that, that they've had so much time together
Yes. That is
with no sex, that she basically accepts that he has a weird relationship with his emotional life.
oh, absolutely. She doesn't think
Yes.
he's super normal,
No.
a regular guy, but that's fine with her.
Mm-hmm.
And so but it's like the moment that like Tony Goldwyn gets him to face up with this and he runs over to her place to have sex with her because he desperately wants to, and then he assumes there's something wrong with her. It's like, why would she think that? You weren't doing it out of obligation because you were supposed to. You had sex with her because you desperately wanted to,
Do.
because you're in love with this woman.
Yeah. It's watching this and not having anybody say anything, because it is in Tony Goldwyn's
Yeah.
uh the therapy session, the second one, because
Yeah.
he has the first one, which is
Yep. Where he's
basically,
very guarded and he's trying to
yeah, and the guy
subtly get
just,
stuff out of Tony Goldwyn, and Totally Goldwyn just won't let him.
no, and Goldwyn will just, yeah, this is it. He pinpoints Dexter's issues head on
Immediately.
immediately. But then Dexter, because of the stress with Rita,
Yep.
Dexter goes back
Hmm.
and has this session, and the guy puts him into the trance.
Yeah. And
right?
he finally starts,
Well,
thinking
he
about his
has,
childhood stuff.
well, the thing that scares him is he has this childhood thing, like we see him as the little boy
Yep.
with blood splatter on his face.
Yeah.
And that's what he's remembering, blood splatter. He doesn't remember anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't see anything else, but there's all this blood splatter on his face.
Everywhere. Yeah.
And which is why he becomes a blood splatter expert.
Well, I mean, he does say that because he
Yeah.
hates blood so much. So he's
Yeah.
spent his whole rest of his life trying to control blood.
Yeah. And so, that's the first crack.
Yeah.
That's the first real crack that we have seen. And and then so he just shuts it down and
Mm-hmm.
allows the emotional part of his relationship with Rita take over.
Yeah.
That's how
But
you would
it's
have to
only by
explain that.
accessing his trauma,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, yeah, you can say that he uses finally committing to Rita to avoid the trauma, but at the same time,
Yeah.
accessing the trauma and understanding why you're closed off is what makes him finally have to run to her,
Yeah.
right? And lose control of himself and just be the guy that is in love with this woman and wants to be with her.
Yeah.
And it's only by like accessing this block. And it again, the episode is saying he could have been having therapy this whole time.
Yeah.
He could have just been getting therapy. And
And
he
we're
would have been, I'm not saying he would have been fine. There would have been a lot to work through, but like what Harry did to this boy
is god awful.
is so nightmarish.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what we're finding out. And when you start looking at it from that perspective, the
Yeah,
show makes a lot more sense and is easier to take,
it is. It really does, because the weird part
because
is no matter
things,
how questionable things get, we're always going to have a villain on the show, and that villain's always going to be Harry.
yeah, because what happens is it also explains a lot of the inconsistencies.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
When we know the full horror of what had happened to him when he was 3 years old,
Mm-hmm.
which we do in Original Sin,
Yep.
then all of the inconsistencies, all of the things that Dexter lies to himself about,
It all
he's
makes so
not
much more
he's
sense.
he's
Yeah.
not consciously lying to himself.
No.
He is believing what Harry
Yeah.
told him.
What he was gaslit about, what he was manipulated about.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fascinating, but I mean, there's a reason I wrote down. Obviously, that got reset the next episode, but there's a reason in the Tony Goldwyn episode I wrote down, is this the best episode of Dexter?
Yeah.
Because all of the stuff with Tony Goldwyn is so good. And
Yes.
like Dexter actually being forced to face up to his stuff is so good.
Well, yes, it's a little yeah, I don't think he's facing up to his stuff
Well, no.
exactly.
Well, no,
Okay.
he is a
But
little
he's got
though.
the first crack in the dam.
Yes, that's what it is. It is just
Okay.
one crack in the dam, but that's
That's all.
meaningful.
Yeah. No, it's excessive. It's extremely meaningful. I could go into my own first crack in the dam
Yeah,
stuff too.
yeah,
The first crack in the dam is always the one that it just scares the hell out of you. There's
yeah.
no question that the crack through the break,
Hmm.
it just is, or the crack in the wall that lets a little drop of something out. And then you
Yeah.
have to spend so much time trying to understand the rest of it.
All of the stuff, what it
And
means and what it
Dexter,
led
yeah.
to. Yeah. And
And
Dexter is not
yeah,
going to be willing to get more therapy,
no, not
obviously.
obviously, but
But
that's,
seeing him, seeing the
mhm,
therapy work on him, for me was just kind of magical. It's like, yeah, no, the therapy would have
yeah.
worked.
And the thing is that,
It makes Harry worse that the therapy would have worked.
yeah, and therapeutic, and that it is a realistic thing to say that when you have these kinds of breakthroughs, you need comfort
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
sex, and what Rita has been offering all the time.
Hmm.
Ultimately, he's comforting her,
Yeah.
whether he knows it or not, but she's also comforting him because she will listen to him, and she does offer insights.
Oh, completely. That's
We've
been a big
seen
part
that
of their
already.
relationship. Yeah,
Yeah, and now this,
100%.
yeah,
So yeah, it's very good. Like these scenes are very good. One just drive-by note. LaGuerta's suddenly coming on to Dexter again, a thing that hasn't been a part of the show since like the first episode.
Yeah.
Like, it was just this weird. In the first episode, they make such a big deal about how horny LaGuerta is for Dexter, and then
Yeah.
that like doesn't come up again for the next 6 episodes, and then it's back in episode 8. That was just weird.
Yeah, that was weird. And I just think but Dexter's oblivious to it and ignores
I
it.
mean,
And
yeah.
that's all there is to it. So we just let it go.
Oh,
And
no,
maybe
it's not a big
she's,
part of the show,
no,
but it
and
is
what,
weird that it's like it hadn't been a running thing.
well, it may be part of, her sort of personality thing.
Yeah.
It has to get out somewhere, and she probably doesn't have a boyfriend right now.
At the
So
moment, no, pretty
yeah,
clearly. Yeah, it's just worth
yeah,
mentioning.
yeah.
And canonically, Angel says he only cheated on his wife once and immediately confessed. And I'm like, okay, Angel, sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. We believe that
We've
one.
decided to believe that. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, okay, Tony Goldwyn, masterpiece performance. I would say one thing that whole character and that whole episode are missing is Dexter has his mouth covered for the whole murder scene, and it's the writers missed a chance to have him like do some final last moment therapy with Dexter.
Yeah,
And I think
that would have,
yeah,
well, that would have been really good if they had, because it would have been like the when he's killing that couple
yes, that's what I'm saying.
last
He
time.
should have,
Yeah.
because he got something from listening to them all that. I feel like he should have tried to do that again with Tony Goldwyn.
Yeah. But he's running from his memories.
That's true. There is some
Remember?
level where he's afraid of that.
Yeah.
But
Whereas with the
dramatic
couple,
standpoint, yes, he was actively trying with the
yeah,
couple.
but
Yes.
it wouldn't have been the Dexter that we know.
You say that, but at the same time, he has no problem with taking the tape off people's mouths and chatting with them before killing them.
Yes, I know.
In basically every
Which tells you
episode,
that
except
he's
for this one.
avoiding.
Oh yeah,
It tells you just the opposite. You're saying that they missed a chance.
no, they
but
missed a
Dexter
dramatic
doesn't
opportunity.
want to know.
Oh no, of course he doesn't. No, I'm saying I know why. Intellectually, the character doesn't. I'm saying the writers could have overridden that for a good dramatic moment.
Yes, but would it have been a true to Dexter?
I mean, you could say because he chats with everybody before killing them, I think most people would accept that it was true to Dexter. You're right that this being the guy whose mouth he keeps shut is reflective of Dexter's deeper need to not have to face up to what Harry did to him.
Yes.
Right? You're right. I'm just saying, as a screenwriter, right? You are leaving a beautiful dramatic moment on the tape off,
And
like
I
on the
wouldn't
table.
be surprised if they didn't have that discussion in the writing room.
It's entirely possible that they did. Like that we're having the same conversation.
Yeah, that they probably had in the writing room.
It wouldn't shock me at all.
And that the showrunner said no.
No,
Dexter doesn't want
Dexter is too
know.
afraid of what Tony Goldwyn might say. Yeah.
Yeah. And what he might find
It's entirely possible. All right. Now let's get to the headline stuff this week.
Oh, well, should we do we want to talk about Darla and the kids and the ex-husband?
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay.
Well,
so
let's do that first before we get to the
husband.
Brian stuff.
Okay. And first off, the ruling on Tony Goldwyn is 100% justified.
Yeah.
Because not only was nothing provable, the dude didn't even do anything illegal.
No.
The absolute worst thing that could happen to him is to lose his license to practice medicine.
Yep.
Like if Dexter put every single one of those tapes out, he could have lost his license to practice medicine and been civilly sued for contributing to these women's death, and the lawsuits probably wouldn't have even worked. Dexter was 100% justified. This was the completely morally correct thing to do. All right. Yeah. So yeah, let's get to Reed and the kids and Paul, who is a monster.
And I was going to ask a question, but I'm just going to wait for the next 3 episodes.
Oh, okay.
You see, I keep thinking, but I'm trying to remember, and for whatever reason, I did not put these episodes into long-term memory.
Oh, weird. I mean,
yeah.
Obviously I've forgotten a lot too, so I'm not criticizing you in the least.
No, except that mine is like it's almost like I'm watching a brand new show, even though I know, because I can remember sort of Lithgow and I can remember certain things.
Yeah, like I have Keith Carradine, obviously.
But this is when my mother was dying, so
Yeah, okay, so that's gonna factor in.
yeah.
Okay. So the thing about the Paul stuff is, again, this is really good writing because they do a good job of showing how he is capable of being likable and he is capable of being charming and
Charming
holding it
and
together.
yep,
But at the core of it, right from the start, it is clear that this is just about narcissism and this is just about ownership.
yep.
These people are his property, and he cannot have that be questioned.
Yeah, I mean they do a splendid
Really good
job of
job of
showing
showing, yeah.
how women, because it's fascinating, because she does spend the day with him and the
Mm-hmm.
kids at the fair or the circus
Yep.
or whatever.
Breaking the date with Dexter.
Yeah, breaking a date with Dexter. And then
Mm-hmm.
that's when she decides she can have sex with Dexter, because she realizes just how easy it would be to
Yeah.
just fall back into it, and she doesn't want to.
And she needs to do something concrete to break from her past. And
Yeah.
finally, being willing to have sex with Dexter is the thing that is going to break her out of the possibility that she could
Yeah.
ever get back with
Yeah.
Paul.
Once she's had sex with Dexter, there's no going back.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And that is the decision that she has made. But you can just, I mean, this is, if people don't understand how women keep going back,
Yeah.
this shows you how women keep going back. He's so charming and the
Yeah.
kids love him so much, particularly the son, and the daughter has talked to him and he's promised the daughter he's never going to hit her again, his
Yep.
mother again, and that he's
Mm-hmm.
changed. And of course the daughter is going to believe it,
Yep.
because what's her experience, right? He's already been to jail, so
Yeah.
he's learned
And
his
the
lesson.
yes, and the lie that we are told is people go to jail to get fixed so they can re-enter society.
Yeah, no,
You know, like, no, that's not actually what jails are for, but that's what we tell children it's for. It's like, how come he had to go away? Well, he was, he was not good at dealing with people, so we sent him away so he can think about what he did wrong and come back better, is what we tell kids. But nope, that's not what happens.
no, that's not what happened. And you see the gradual buildup of him
Yeah.
getting angry,
Mm-hmm.
like, and controlling it.
Oh yeah.
But at some point, he's
He's
not,
gonna break.
he's going to break again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because I think it's pretty clear that he's been drinking when he calls them in
Mm-hmm.
Tallahassee,
Yep.
Or is the Tallahassee but the point is, right? When they go north for the weekend and he doesn't get to take the kids to the circus, he's been drinking when he calls her and he's
Mm-hmm.
really, like, oh, this is going somewhere really bad.
Yep.
And I'm disappointed that Dexter isn't going to kill him because that would solve so many problems, Dexter. You could get away with it. People would just assume he blew his parole.
Yeah. And ran away when he found out that Rita was serious about Dexter.
Exactly. That he just ran away from his life. Everyone would have bought that.
Yep.
You could have just killed him, Dexter. But we'll talk about what happens with the aftermath of the Paul stuff when it happens. I do
Mm-hmm.
remember some of that. But yeah, no, really well drawn. Like the performance by Satan from Supernatural, he's doing a great job. It's Satan from Supernatural.
Yes, well, he was Lucifer in Supernatural.
Sorry,
Satan,
Lucifer.
yes.
Come on,
He was
he
Lucifer.
was Lucifer. Yes,
And he was the one that
it's the
had,
same character.
yes, who
But
wanted,
yes,
who'd done the blood thing with all the kids. And
yep. Oh yeah, we
oh
love
yes,
him.
he was a definitely a steadfast character.
Yeah, we really enjoyed
And
him.
he
It was a
inhabited
very fun
Sam,
character.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he takes over Sam, and then in the future, and the world goes to hell, so they have to stop that from happening. It was a fun show. The first 5 seasons of Supernatural are a pretty fun show.
Yeah.
I know people loved it for the next 10 as well. I checked out, but I know there's a long time fan base for that show.
Oh, well, and that show, I mean, I am one of those
You
fans,
never
right?
gave up on it. Yeah,
No, I never gave it there. It had its bad moments, and
it did
it kind of went off the rails
more
periodically,
than
but
once.
the characters were so good, and like
Yeah, they're so
the
likable. Yeah.
supporting characters,
Oh yeah,
like what's her
incredible
face,
supporting
who
cast.
was also in Dollhouse, with the
Oh
red
yeah, yeah. I'm
hair, and then
blanking on her name. Yeah, we all know who we're talking
yeah, and
about.
she and the
Yeah,
Renaissance fair, she
yeah.
and
Ren
she
Fair.
just
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
never mind. She was a supporting character who showed up on
She
and
was
off.
always delightful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those sorts
Yeah.
of things kept you
It's a good
kept you
show.
watching.
It's a fun show. It's a good show. I genuinely really like it.
Yeah.
I just, I fell off, and we can talk about the reasons why later. I have a weird
With
relationship with certain
immaterial.
things.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not what this is about. But yeah, all of the Paul stuff is really good, and it's going to be coming to a head because fundamentally, his like he just believes in possessing people,
Yeah.
right? It's all about how these like his
This is
kids are his
my
property,
house,
his wife
my
is a
children,
property.
my
Yeah,
wife.
exactly. And it's like, does he technically own the house? Yeah, you can ask them to leave, but in a divorce, you're gonna have to divvy up the property. So there
Yeah.
you go. But yes, he did already own the house when they met. Again, good reason to kill. Another good reason to
For
kill him.
Dexter to kill him.
Simplify probate, kill this man because he definitely doesn't have a will, and if you kill him before the divorce goes through, there's no probate complications, right? And there's
Yeah, but
no
everybody has to
he'll
know
just
he's dead.
okay, so you leave his 7 years
Otherwise, you have to
somewhere.
wait for seven
Yeah, actually, right,
years.
you have to wait. But you know what? It's fine waiting the 7 years because spoiler alert, spoiler alert, he's not going to show up again because he'll
Yeah.
be dead at the bottom of the ocean. The kids
Yeah.
can wait 7 years before they get ownership of the house or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know
Well,
how it's
I
going
think
to
it
play
would be a
out.
little more traumatic if he disappeared. They would
That's
have,
true.
the children would have to know physically that their father was dead.
Which I feel like is what happens, but I don't really remember completely. You know
Mm.
what? We'll get there when we get
We'll
there.
get there when we get
Now
there.
Dokes. 100% sign off on his decision. Just no
Yeah.
question there. Yeah. Anyone who is in a death squad, it's fine to execute. I mean,
And
maybe is this a controversial position I'm saying? That if you
it
were in a
shouldn't
death
be.
squad, it's fine to execute you?
Well, it shouldn't be if it is,
If that's controversial, I apologize for my controversial statement. But if you were in a death squad, it's fine to just, you are fair game to be murdered at
yeah,
any time by
particularly
anyone.
when you ran the death squad,
Yep. Like
which this guy
if
did.
you were the captain of a death squad, it's fine to murder you. Like just
I,
go ahead and do it. This came up on Bosch, you
yep.
know? This came up on Bosch, this comes up here. It was touched on in Wise Guy a little in our beloved fourth season of Wise Guy. But yeah, like death squads, man, they are like the clue is in the name.
Yeah.
It's fine to kill anybody who was involved in a death squad. This is not a moral issue. Like if you want to defend like if you want to defend the members of Death Squad, I feel like you might be the problem here. So
Well,
no,
here's the problem.
please.
It is a form of capital punishment.
Oh, absolutely.
And so we're opposed to capital punishment.
But the
But
principle based on
sometimes,
which we're the main reason we're against capital punishment, two reasons. One, the state probably shouldn't be sanctioning murder. Two,
mm-mm.
you might get the wrong person.
Yes.
But
Whereas
A,
here,
this isn't the state,
no,
really,
and this
you
is the
know,
right person.
and we know this is the right person because Doak saw it happen.
Yes. And I mean, and they use that to parallel with what Dexter is doing,
Exactly.
right? And of course, and LaGuardia is the one who puts it to bed because she
Yeah.
just goes, she knows there has to be a reason why Dokes killed this guy.
Yeah. Dokes
Dokes
isn't just
isn't
gonna out
talking.
him. Yeah.
He isn't talking. He's trying to cover it up. He isn't talking. And
Hmm.
Tony will not break his version of the truth,
Yeah.
because we all knew it right away,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
because it was clear there was no gun there, and then there was
Oh
a
yeah.
gun there.
And
So,
Angel doesn't back Dokes and he goes to IA, and are people gonna think Angel's a rat? And Dokes knows he murdered a guy, so he doesn't
mhm,
want to see Angel suffer for it because Dokes isn't a bad guy. Literally, the only morally questionable thing that happens in this storyline is Dokes is walking around with a drop gun on him.
yeah,
That's a little questionable.
yeah. Well,
Like,
and we
they're
say all
cops, right?
cops do
Yeah, they're
that. Yeah,
cops. Like that's the thing. Like you can't give cops the benefit of the doubt because this man's walking around knowing that any time he might have to plant a gun on somebody that got shot, who didn't need to get shot at that, who like there was no imminent threat from.
yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, LaGuerta makes it go away because she's a big fan of Dokes
Yeah.
and always has been. They used to be partners. Which is why I'm sad we're not going to see young Dokes in season two, because those bastards at Paramount, canceled season two.
Jeez.
IMDb has already been updated, by the way. When they announced season two, they said they put, and this is what caused our confusion, they changed it so there's 20 episodes of Dexter Original Sin, and IMDb already updated it, so now it's like, no, just 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Dokes, I got no problem with what he did. That guy was leading a death squad. It's fine. Kill him. I encourage you to kill him. It's somebody from a death squad. It's like the world is a better place for him no longer being in it. So yeah, now the big stuff. Brian Moser, our beloved Brian Moser.
Yeah.
Uh and I know this is a slightly controversial statement. Probably the best boyfriend Deborah's ever gonna have.
Yeah.
He's such a good boyfriend.
I
He's
know. And
so
I just,
attentive and he's so understanding
and this goes
and
to our,
supportive.
this goes to our, Brian, why didn't you stay being a
Just
doctor
just
and
keep
get in,
yeah, just
and
keep
have
being a
a,
doctor and get into his life.
yeah, and then do
Just
things with
marry Deb,
Dexter.
and then you'll be hanging out with Dexter, and then gradually you can work your way into Dexter's serial killing thing.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Why'd you have
Yeah.
to? Because why? I mean, spoiler alert. Why'd you have to like try to make Dexter choose between you and Deb and make Dexter kill Deb? You didn't have to do any of that.
No, you didn't have to do any
No,
of
you could have
that.
just been in his life and it would have been fine. You
Yes,
could be
but
his brother-in-law. It would have worked out perfectly.
we would have then been brothers again.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. Like you had everything you wanted, Brian. Why'd you have to screw it up?
Yeah, that's, yeah, but
But he's a
that's
tragic
because the
figure. The
drive.
trauma. It's the
Yeah,
trauma. Yeah.
it's the trauma. He can't,
Yeah.
because Dexter, and he can't, and Dexter doesn't give him a chance to.
No. Because it's not like Dexter tries to talk him through this stuff,
Mm-mm.
you know?
Well, it's also because, I mean, because what you see by the end of all of this, right,
Yeah.
is this bond. Like, I can understand probably what threw Brian over the edge
Yeah.
is Deborah's response to Dexter's having a real father, a
Mm-hmm.
biological father, and
Yeah.
wanting to go,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then she complains about that to Brian, and Brian's the one who talks her into being supportive.
Yep.
He said, Deb, you always knew he had a biological father.
Out there somewhere. But yeah, but she thought he was dead because Harry lied to
Harry had
everybody
lied to
like he did to
everybody,
everybody all the time.
but he didn't lie. He didn't lie to his wife.
But no, his wife, well, of course she did. He didn't lie to his life. She knew everything. She knew, now we know, she knew like that these were the kids of Harry's mistress.
Mm-hmm.
Like she knew every part of it. But,
Yeah.
she was a deeply understanding woman, it seems.
Yeah. Yes.
Doris Morgan, a surprisingly understanding woman. But yeah, like she was very, very understanding. But yeah, like all of this stuff, and you feel so sorry right, for her because
Yeah.
she's got this wonderful boyfriend, but now she's watching Dexter essentially like calling their dad a liar. And she can't accept because it's like for whatever problems she had with her father and for all of the ways that Harry neglected her and only paid attention to Dexter, like she never questioned his basic morality and that he was a good guy,
Yeah.
right? He was a center of moral clarity for her whole life.
Yeah.
And she finds out that no, he lied to her whole life about Dexter. Everybody got lied to except for his wife. But of course, they don't even know that part because, the wife is
No.
dead and can't talk about it. Also, I just want to bring it up slightly. Stop saying foster.
Yes. Stop saying foster.
Adopted.
Yeah.
It's a
And people
different
pointed out to
thing.
him, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
See, now this, well, we'll see this as we follow it through.
Yeah.
Like I can actually see that this may be some bizarre because he calls him dad. Does
Yeah,
he
all
call
the
him?
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he calls him dad all the time.
Yeah. And so what happens though is that this may be the only point of resistance
Right.
that is coming through.
Yeah.
That there's something wrong, and
He
his
can't put his
entire
finger on it,
system knows his entire system knows that there's
understands that there's
something.
something wrong, but he can't place it.
So he constantly calls him Foster.
Yeah. Foster father, foster sister, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
But
it's
no, I
it's
that actually makes sense.
yeah,
I
it's
could
funny.
totally see you being right
Yeah,
about that.
when I was thinking about that, I'm thinking, yeah, because it is jarring for him
Whenever
to
he says
say
it.
when people talk, and this is after, I mean, we've got 15 years after. Men always come to their insights later than women when they're dealing with trauma. Like,
Yeah,
you
no,
kind of
famously.
look at it, they are more resistant to seeing their past as traumatic
Right.
than women are,
Yeah.
in terms of going to therapy and all of
Never
those
did any
things.
never did me any harm. The
Yeah,
famous catchphrase
yeah, and
of the worst man you know.
yeah, and masculinity, right,
Yep.
is that way. The talk, what we call toxic
Toxic
masculinity.
masculinity. Yeah.
And even when Dexter's not a
No,
toxically masculine male. He is not.
no, he
Um,
really isn't. He is sensitive. He listens. He
yeah,
pays attention. Like almost none of the characteristics of toxic masculinity are present in Dexter Morgan.
no, it's all
He is
around
not a
him.
Derek Morgan.
No, it's all around him. He
Yeah.
just can't, it just doesn't, he just sees that as part of, maybe he doesn't even see that as a flaw in himself. He just goes, well, I don't understand it because I don't have any feelings,
Yeah.
right? That's what his
That's the
go-to is always
justification he uses. Yeah.
for everything. Well, no, I don't understand why they're doing that, or that sort
Yeah.
of thing. So, and because he had a good relationship with Doris.
Yeah, he did.
And I think he probably
Quite
had a
obviously.
reasonably good relationship with his mother
I mean, he
in
was,
that
yeah,
first 3
in the
years.
first 3 years. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I think somewhat. I think that's
Well, his
probably true
his biological father was in jail, so
for a lot of that time. Yeah.
yeah. So therefore, but I think that it may be that and nobody's no, like everybody says, no, you're my you're my brother, like Deb says to him, no, you're my brother, or
Yeah.
you
But
know,
there could be, you can say there's a block in there keeping him from really accepting that.
yeah, fully, because part of him has to know.
Yeah.
Like he can't articulate it. It can't
What
be,
that distance is. He doesn't understand what that distance is, but it's there.
and he doesn't even, yeah, and it just comes out
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. By him
And
constantly using the term foster when
he
he
may
is
not,
legally a Morgan.
yeah, and and his birth certificate says Morgan.
Yeah. They had the birth certificate changed.
Changed. Yeah. And so, he's and I think as long as Harry was alive,
Yeah.
he never thought of himself as a foster.
No, 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 no. But
And
when Harry
then,
died, yeah,
yeah. And then
he was
there's,
adrift to a certain extent.
and we saw already in the beginning, because he's already having this response to children
Yeah.
being killed. So we've seen that in Original Sin, and that probably is a continuing thing that happens to him. And he's had a little bit of tutelage from Harry about it.
I think
So
so.
he could have become an even worse monster, because he's going
Oh,
to,
absolutely.
if Harry had stayed alive, when I think about all of these things, because Harry just explains things all the time to him. Well, you're a psychotic,
Yeah. You
you
were
know,
born this way. There's, something wrong with
wrong
you
with
deep
you. Yeah.
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And all
And
we can
so
do is try and direct it and control it, but you're always going to be at its mercy. Like it just a monster, that
just what
Harry.
Harry did to him. And
Yeah.
therefore, but Harry's not reinforcing it anymore. And that
No.
reinforcement is going, because of the work he does, to
Mm-hmm.
some extent, it will break down,
Oh, yeah.
slowly but surely. And we can see that as crisis. And the crisis is his being with Rita and her 2 children. And then the abusive male, like, because it's not an abusive, it's another abusive male. And well, we'll talk more about that later on. But
Oh yeah.
the point is that his life experiences are now causing the odd crack.
Oh, absolutely.
So, which goes to he should have maintained those children. But
Yes,
that's another story.
But we're going to talk about
that later.
In season 5, when they suddenly disappear because the writing team got bored of them.
Yes. Didn't want to write for teenagers.
Didn't want to do the work is what
Yeah.
I'm going to say. And the answer is didn't want to do the work. They
Yeah.
wanted to just have a fun show about a guy who loves murder, right? They didn't want to like talk about the reality of any of this stuff and Dexter's responsibilities.
Yes.
But again, we're going to get there when we get there. For right now, we got to focus on the best boyfriend in the world, Brian Moser.
Yep.
Who we found out like went to France and changed his identity to
Yeah.
learn to be a specialist in creating
artificial
limbs because of the stuff that happened to him when he was a kid.
Yeah. I mean, it made perfectly sense.
Yeah.
Makes
perfect sense.
Yep.
How he ended up. I'm like, yeah, that was really well thought of. It makes sense that he would have ended up like this. And he tried to put his trauma to productive use, but the damage was too deep. And in the key years when a difference could have been made, he had only negative influences.
Yes.
Like the point when the difference could have been made, he had no one to intervene for him. And so he's trying to figure it all out entirely on his own.
Yeah.
Oh, that poor man. But hey, so he's a wonderful boyfriend, right? And Deb feels close to it like a guy for the first time ever because he cares about her and listens to her and pays attention to her. She has only had shitty boyfriends up until now. So like a guy who's just good at paying attention to her is apparently the best boyfriend she's ever had.
Yes. Or it will ever have.
Oh, or probably will ever have. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Joey Quinn. I don't think he was a good boyfriend. But yeah. And so then we get the moment where I'm like, he becomes the boyfriend in episode 7. We find out he's the ice truck killer in episode 8, right? Because the episode ends with him going to like work on a body. And then episode 9, we get the 2 of them showing up at Dexter's dad's house.
Yep.
And that moment where he hugs Dexter and says, "I've waited so long to meet you." I'm like, oh, poor Brian. Because the thing is, like, if you don't know when we watched it the first time, you don't know he's Dexter's brother.
No.
That's creepy because he's the ice truck killer.
Yeah.
But when you watch it knowing he's Dexter's brother it's the saddest thing.
You just want to cry. Like
it is. You want to cry for this man. He's been waiting to be reunited with his brother for what? Almost 30 years.
All he had to do was marry Deb.
Yes,
everything would have been solved, and your life
would have been fine. Just marry Deb. You'll get everything you want.
And eventually you could tell Dexter the truth.
Yes, you could tell him the truth and you guys could just murder criminals together. Oh.
Anyway.
Oh, poor Brian.
And it would have worked as a show.
I would have watched that show.
Sure.
You kidding me? Again, Team Brian Moser did nothing wrong. But the thing is, he's so good with Dexter.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. He's so wonderfully supportive. And he's getting him to, like, question Harry.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
and actually face up to his relationship with his adoptive father and understand that he had a past before Harry. I mean, I know it's all a way to get him primed for the reveal that this is your brother, but this is healthy for Dexter. Questioning Harry is healthy.
No, I mean, and some of these, but what is interesting is how they do the flashbacks. Like, he goes in to see the body, and of course, the doctor hasn't even thought that there would be You know, he was rather surprised at the heart attack, but he's
Yeah.
seen a heart attack. The doctor is,
And it's obviously one. He had
yeah,
diabetes, so,
yeah.
you know, it's not surprising that he would have had a heart attack.
And even
He's a
if,
little young on the young side, but still.
but still, and here's the thing that Dexter doesn't understand is that the doctor may have actually seen needle marks
Yeah, and not
and
thought it
not
was
even thought
strange.
about it because he had
Diabetics,
diabetes.
yeah, diabetics have needle marks, so it's
Yeah,
not like unusual.
he wouldn't have thought of it,
Yeah,
right?
but Rita, as always, being super observant and useful, points
Hmm.
out because he had a sedative in his body, and Dexter's like,
Hmm.
someone might have given him a sedative to knock him out before shooting him up with too much insulin to give him a heart attack. And Brian's like, or and Rita's like, you know what? You're right. I looked in. He's an NA guy, and
Yeah,
and I didn't see anything stronger than Advil in his closet. And then so Brian immediately has to be like, yeah, but people fall off the wagon. What are you gonna do?
yeah.
But it's
After
like
30
Rita
years,
on
after
top. I
30
know, right?
years.
But Rita's on top of it. Rita's very observant.
Yeah.
Rita's always paying attention. Really got to respect her for that. Like she's very good at listening and very good at
Yeah,
paying
all of
attention.
those year chips, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like all of those. Well, no, all
And
she
she,
found, 20 or 30 year chips for him,
yeah,
and she's got like 15 welcome chips from her husband,
yeah,
who never made it past the welcome chip stage.
yes,
Oh, poor guy. But then, like,
yeah,
Dexter goes out and he tries to, break into the place to look at his dad's body and see if there were injection marks. And Brian rescues him, and they go and they spread the ashes at the bowling.
yeah. Because
Uh,
all I could think about
it
was
was Otis,
Jack.
California. I
Yeah,
know.
Otis,
He was a hell
California.
of a bowler.
He was a hell of a bowler.
Uh, I know, me too. First thing I thought.
was, was Jack going, he's a hell of a bowler.
He's a hell of a bowler.
Everybody talking about the people who were dead.
All of the victims. Yeah, great bowlers. Oh, Jack, we miss you. Uh, but yeah, and then they go and they spread his ashes at the bowling alley he loved so much. But it's
Yes.
like watching these scenes with Brian, and it's
And
just like
Dexter,
how
yeah.
much he needs to be near Dexter and how
Yeah.
happy he is to finally get a chance to be with Dexter. And here's the thing, like, if that wasn't Brian's dad, and you're right, it might not be Brian's dad. It's
Yeah.
entirely possible. But given the state we saw Brian in Dexter Original Sin, it's fair to say that this man was responsible for the abuse that that Brian demonstrated quite clearly being the early childhood victim of.
Yes. And I agree. And it's quite, you see, the thing
Whether it's his
is,
biological
or his
whether it's his
stepfather,
biological or his stepfather, this is the guy who beat up 3-year-old, 2-year-old Brian,
Brian. Yeah.
right? This is the one who abused childhood Brian and set him on this course.
Yeah. And so, yes. So in that case, yeah. Okay. So even if it was his biological, it could, yeah. Yeah. Never
Whether
mind.
he was or not. Now, I think
Whether he was or
the way
not.
you argue it,
Yeah.
I think you're more likely right than I am that this is not Brian's biological father. You're probably right, and I'm probably wrong. But either way, this is Brian's abuser.
Yeah. And I think, and
His
another thing.
first
Oh, yes.
abuser.
No, this is what I
And
said
this was
because
the
we
last name
know.
to check off of his list,
Yeah.
you know? Like, and that's the key part. Like, this is the last name, like, because we saw him get even with
With
all of the people
yeah.
from his past, and there was one name left on that list, and it was, his stepfather.
Yeah.
And the weird part is, uh, if you think about Brian's age, it might not have actually been easy to track down that stepfather because it's not like there's a marriage record. Like he
Yeah.
was like when this guy dipped out, Brian was like 4,
Yeah.
right? So he might not even remember when he was a kid, when he was growing up, he might not even remember that guy's name. Who can he find to ask who Dexter's father is, right? It's not that easy a thing to figure out.
No,
So
it might
it
not, except that he went to jail.
yeah, but even still, like he went to jail, but the point is, if you don't know the guy's name, Brian wouldn't have known when he went to jail. I'm just saying, as a teenager, as a 20-year-old, I don't think it would be that easy for
No, but it
Brian to
might have
figure out
been.
who Dexter's dad is.
But by the time he got back from France in his 30s,
Exactly,
he
right?
can
He would,
start tracking things down and he's
yes, that's what I'm
smarter about
saying.
it. Yeah.
And then it
And
becomes part of his plan to get close to Dexter,
yeah.
to
And
contrive a reason for them to hang out. Because
and
he waits until he's dating Deborah solidly before he kills Dexter's dad, because he knows he can use that as an excuse to get close to Dexter.
but the question is, did he know that um how did he know that that Dexter's dad was going to leave him the house?
I mean, I doubt he did know that part.
Yeah.
I think he assumed or would have arranged that there would have been a notification, right?
Yeah.
A notification of some kind that your dad died,
Yeah.
from the Social Security Administration or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Or, I mean, honestly, maybe he broke in and right, read the will, when the
Well, the
guy
way
was
he
out
broke
bowling one
into,
day,
yeah,
you know?
and that would make sense. That
Yeah,
that to me would make the
it
most
is
sense.
it is possible
He
that
may
Brian
not have
did
had a
know he was
because
leaving him the will.
because initially when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, well, yeah, but he was so violent with all of the other ones. Why wasn't he so violent with his abuser, his
Yeah,
childhood abuser? And then you go, but if he got into the place and found the will,
exactly. He
that
would have realized he
changed.
could use it. It
Yes. And
wouldn't just
therefore,
be, yeah. He's like, okay, I can strategically use this man's death to get
yeah,
closer to Dexter. So killing him just doesn't have to be a thing for me. It can be a way to get the thing I really want, a relationship with my brother.
yeah,
I mean, that really does make sense from Brian's motivation.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think it
His
does.
all of his motivations, and but the whole that was also then that poor little woman across the street.
Oh, I do feel sorry for her.
Yes.
Uh, poor woman. But like,
The little
with
old lady who lived across the street,
yeah, exactly.
who
Just
recognized Brian as the cable guy.
as the cable guy. Oh, poor little old lady.
Yeah,
It was a wrong place, wrong time situation.
yeah.
Again, at this point, Brian is so close to having what he want. He probably didn't have to kill her. He was never coming back to Tallahassee.
No.
But, he didn't want to take a chance. And I get it. Like when you've come this far, I get not wanting to take a chance. We all know I'm team John Malkovich in the Line of Fire, right?
Yes.
Except for him killing that lady who worked at the bank
Yeah.
and her roommate. But that was the thing. There was no way that lady who worked at the bank was going to figure out that he was a presidential assassin, because he like made it clear he had never been to St. Louis by
Yeah.
answering questions wrong. But he was so close he couldn't take a chance.
Yeah.
I get it, but I don't approve of that action. So I won't say, I mean, our official position is that Brian Moser did nothing wrong, but obviously he made two big mistakes. One, probably shouldn't have killed that lady. Two, just marry Deb.
Yeah. That's
It'll be
all you had
fine.
to do.
All you had to do, just marry Deb. And then the rest you could gradually work out over the years when you're married to Deb.
Yeah.
You know? You could have so easily gotten into this man's life. But no, like, he is a man who is ruled by his childhood trauma.
Yep.
Like, we can make the argument, and given that I'm pretty sure in one of these upcoming episodes, he butchers somebody in a shipping container to force, uh, right,
To
Dexter
try
to
and
remember
force.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, to try and force Dexter's memories. I think it is not hyperbole to say that a big part of Brian Moser never left that shipping container.
Oh, no, he never
Yeah,
did.
no. He never got out of the shipping container, fundamentally. And that's why he couldn't make that next step and say, I could just marry Deb and I would have everything I want.
Yeah.
Because there is this brutality at his core, because he was an abused kid that then had the worst possible thing happen to him when his mother died and his brother
Just
was
being
stolen
chopped
from
up.
him,
Yeah.
chopped up in
Oh,
front of him. And yeah, I've thought about it since we talked last, and I think that's the key thing. In his young childhood mind, his mother is the ideal, like Dexter, right? His mother
yeah.
is the ideal image of womanhood.
Yeah.
And then he saw his mother being brutalized and all of her blood spraying everywhere.
Yeah.
And so when he's, and then, so the idealized version of womanhood is this chopped up pile of body parts. But the blood is so traumatizing that on a visceral level,
He has
when
to
he
drain.
sees what Brian has done, yeah, that's why Brian has to do it. What I'm saying is,
Hmm.
I'm going back to why was he so aroused by Brian's
Oh,
work?
oh, Dexter.
Yes,
That
Dexter,
when
right?
yeah,
Exactly. That when he sees Brian's work, he doesn't realize it, but his subconscious idealized version of womanhood, his chopped up mother, is there, but without all of the traumatic blood. So of course he finds it arousing. It's screwed up, but I think that's what's going on.
mhm,
Whereas Brian needs to get rid of all of the blood because he has this very conscious memory
yeah,
of absolutely being splattered with all of this blood, right? And seeing all of this blood, fall out of his mother. Like it is a conscious memory that is never entirely out of his head. So of course he has to drain all of the blood out of these women.
yeah. But the thing is, it probably see what, and when we're talking about this, there's a good chance that his mother got beaten up by the
Oh yeah,
stepfather.
absolutely she did.
Okay. And
100%.
absolutely she did. So that means that at some level he has dehumanized all women, like
Yeah,
just like this is how he can kill all of these other women
yeah,
rather than saying, I can't do to these women what was done to my mother.
yeah.
He just follows the pattern and
This is what
doesn't,
happens to women.
this is what happens to women,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I'm sure that at one level there is a level that where he loathes himself, but it is a compulsion that he cannot get rid of.
hmm
And nothing in his life ever moved him away from that.
He had no
Ever.
support. He had no intervention. That's
No
the key part.
intervention. Unbelievable being raised
Harry
in that.
abandoned him, and
Yeah.
this is what he became.
Yeah. And
And
we saw
again,
all of that in Original Sin. So this means that like all the stuff that I guess I must have just checked out on as I was watching
yeah,
it the
you're
first
watching it the
time.
first time,
I'm
right?
going, yeah, because I mean, because I know I watched it.
Yeah, we watched it. We watched all of this. The whole, I mean, you most of the
Yeah,
seasons, me all of the seasons. But
yeah,
there's so much stuff it feels like we're seeing for the first time.
yeah. And you're reevaluating the entire
Oh,
relationship
absolutely.
once you know the background. That is not to say, like we might be on Team Moser,
Yeah,
Brian Moser,
yeah,
in many ways, except
yeah.
we don't approve of like you can't
For marketing
approve.
purposes, for
Yes.
marketing purposes, our official slogan is Brian Moser did nothing wrong.
Yes. However,
But intellectually, we do accept that Brian Moser did very many wrong things. Okay, we're
yes.
not going to pretend he didn't do a lot of wrong things. It's just our official position is ultimately all of those actions are Harry Morgan's responsibility
And it's called The
because
Making of Two Serial Killers.
it is.
Is
And one
how
of
these two serial killers, very different backgrounds, very
absolutely.
different lives that they lived,
Yep.
but they both ended up in the same place with a compulsion to
hmm
kill
Oh yeah.
because
And
nobody
and
dealt with the
again, both
childhood
of and the
trauma.
crazy part is both of them just keep recreating their mother's murder over and over again.
Yes. Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
The only difference is that Harry, like the only difference between these two men is Harry came up with a fiction to give Dexter, like to essentially keep Dexter enslaved to him
Yes.
and to direct the targeting at people Harry wanted killed.
Yeah.
Whereas Brian was left completely on his own to figure things out.
Yeah.
And I mean, and again, this is why we say he's probably smarter than Dexter, because
Oh, for
this is a
sure.
guy who, again, abused as a child, saw his mother brutalized, abused in the foster system, nightmarishly abused for the next decade in an insane asylum,
Yeah.
gets out, kills a bunch of people, flees the country, and manages to become a doctor,
Yep.
like a respected doctor, and a serial killer so talented that he leaves no evidence and no one would ever catch him if
If
he
he,
didn't desperately need to find his brother again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a more
Yeah.
impressive figure than Dexter Morgan in every way.
Yeah, well, because Dexter was bound by Harry's
Yeah.
rules, because Dexter also was very, very smart
Oh yeah.
and did, because he had finished college at the
Yeah.
end, the time he was 20. So
Exactly.
that meant he had been pushed and
Yeah.
he had
He had
skipped
skipped at
grades
least
or
one
whatever.
grade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
he was very clever. They're both very smart guys. It's just I'm just saying Brian Moser, a more impressive person because he did it all with no support.
yeah, and he more consciously was able to separate. I mean, this is what I'm looking at, because he has this relationship with Deb. Now, I'm sure that was he was setting that all up. And I mean, I'm not, never mind. We'll talk
Yeah, we'll
next,
talk
the
about
next
that
three
after we've seen
episodes,
the next three
the
episodes.
next three episodes. But he's
But yeah,
able to have, he probably had a, he could push all of that stuff back while he was creating this life for himself in France,
yeah.
and with the goal that he would go back and meet
Oh,
Dexter
yes,
at
he
some
always planned
point.
to come back at some point. And
Yeah,
we don't know
so
how long ago he moved back. Like,
he could um hold hold back,
yeah, that's the
sort of,
crazy part is like he's
because
so
he
much
knew,
better at controlling himself
because he's
than Dexter
aware
is.
of what he's doing
Yeah, and he knows where it comes from.
and he
Whereas
knows where
Dexter
it
has
comes from.
no idea where it comes from. He just has a series of lies that Harry told him.
Yeah, and he sets up, he thinks that he's setting up his kill program.
Yeah.
All serial, you remember this, right? All serial
Hmm.
killers have a particular modus operandi. So I'm going to have to figure out what mine's going to be. My special thing
Yep.
is, and what it is, recreating
His mother's death.
his mother's death, and he has
Yeah.
absolutely no idea where that comes from.
No, no. He just thinks it's an efficient way to move bodies around. No, that's not what it's about, Dexter.
No, no, not at all.
You
So
don't know
yeah,
it, but that's not what it's about.
I mean, I tell you that, given that first 10
Yeah.
episodes, right, of just
Dexter
changed
Original Sin. Yeah.
this show completely.
Because the thing is that it's like when I got originally 2006, I'm watching the show. When I get to the last episode, my big take was like, no, you don't have to kill Brian.
Yeah,
You don't have to kill Rudy. Hey, he goes by Rudy Cooper, by the way. Like
yeah,
that's what he changed his name to. We call him
yeah.
Brian Moser, but he goes by Rudy Cooper. And I'm like, you don't have to kill him. You guys can settle this. It'll be fine. Right? This is definitely something you can work out between brothers. And I can only imagine if I'm getting weepy over Brian getting to hug Dexter for the first time in 30 years, I can imagine how hard it's going to hit me when Dexter kills Brian this time because we've seen Dexter Original Sin. So
Yeah,
yeah, I am very interested to see it. All
yeah,
right. And that's going to be next week.
yeah.
That's the conversation we're going to be having next week. For now, though, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you'd like to point out something we've missed about why Brian might not be the best guy, drop us a line at profilingcriminalminds@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. If you were listening on an app or podcatcher, please be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. That's how people find out about the show. We're going to see you back here next week for more for the last appearance until he shows up as like a hallucination Harry style.
Yeah.
I don't remember what season that was, but I do remember it happens. Until then, though, this will be our last episode with Brian Moser. So back here next week for a farewell to Brian Moser. But until then, I'll say that's right. Au revoir.
And have a good week.